Hi, Luca. Hey, baby. Oh, he came to watch. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Kyle and I have an apartment here in Portland, but we're lucky enough to have this nice little backyard area with lots of room to garden and plant and learn and explore. So for the last couple years, we've tried to plant stuff and grow our gardening skills. So I just wanted to take a little walk around and see what's going on. But there's Luca. Oh, he wants to come outside so bad, but he's not an outdoor kitty. Okay, so to start with, this section over here is just obviously a bunch of ferns and dandelions. We don't really do anything over there. Just let the wild nature do what it does. Next to the house in this little garden bed, we have this big hosta that's coming back up. I love to see it. It's a beautiful like lime green color. And this April Tourist Camellia, which is just beautiful. These beautiful pink flowers. It normally doesn't bloom this much, so I'm really excited that it decided to come full bloom this year. Back here last year I planted a few Bergonia, I think they're called, flowers. They're nice and kind of the same like pinkish hot pink red color. For a while I was like really concerned that the squirrels had eaten them all up, but I just today found this little sign of life here. There was another one somewhere over here. There it is. Yeah, so those will be hopefully coming back in sometime soon. The main part of our gardening adventures back here is in this flower bed. Years ago, Kyle and I completely dug out this side of the flower bed, or this flower bed on the side of the yard, and dug the whole thing out. We put a weed barrier down of wet cardboard and mulched it with straw and all this stuff, and it was like such a pain in the ass, and I never want to do it again. And we got all these bricks for free on Craigslist and Nextdoor, and made a nice little barrier for the garden, for the flower bed. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. I don't know what this is honestly, but it's got pretty pink flowers. It has a name. It might have a tag here, but it just does what it does. These we have throughout. Oh, another little hosta, nice and thick. What I love about those is that each year the hostas seem to come back bigger and bigger, so that's really fun. All kinds of little stuff peeking up. These ones throughout are Leatris baccata. They're like these tall, purple kind of cattail looking things that we love. This big honeysuckle that normally is infested with aphids, so I was just spraying it today to make sure to try and get ahead of them. Very pretty red flowers. Yeah, just a lot of stuff in here. What Kyle and I did at the end of last fall was something called the chop and drop method, where you kind of just cut back all the dead plants, and instead of instead of putting them in your composting, you just kind of leave them to mulch the soil, and it's supposed to like help protect all your little bulbs and perennial flowers. So that's definitely something on the to-do list, is to come through and take all this stuff out. That'll make it look a lot cleaner. Wintertime is normally when things just get really overgrown and neglected in the garden, and so this time of year is when it's good to come out and freshen things up a bit. We've got some tulips, lots of tulips. Something's obviously been chomping on it, a little friend. And this is a little late bloomer. I don't know if that one's gonna come out, but we'll see. All kinds of little greeny things. I honestly don't know what these are. They might be like some sort of weed, wildflower or something. Pretty little tulip. Red clover we have all throughout this bed. which at first I thought was really annoying, but like a lot of the plants here that were here when we moved in, they're actually medicinal. So yeah, I decided that I would keep them once I found out about that. Here we have, I think these are chrysanthemums. We have a mix of chrysanthemums and asters planted throughout this bed, which are they're really nice, like fall perennial color flowers. So we love to have them. One of my things I wanted to do this year was to separate some of these plants, though, because they just get so big that they kind of crowd each other out, and I didn't get around to it this year. So next year, maybe. More little tulips. That was a little bird bath that broke in the winter. Yep, just kind of more of the same thing. We've also got some, let me see if I can find one. We have some, in addition to these, like the little Leotris plants, we have some gladiolas planted back here. Oh, I think that's one right there. Really big, pretty, colorful flowers. Oh, that one right there, look. Looks like something nibbled on the top of it, though. But that's okay. All kinds of stuff. Obviously, lots of grass, which the cats love. I could do without it, but that's okay. All of our irises are back here in the corner. I'm really excited that we have a lot of little blooming heads this year, because last year the leaves came back but it didn't bloom, so I'm not really sure what happened with that, but this year it doesn't look like we're having that problem. So some pretty purple flowers to come. And over here next to our shed we have 2 columnar apple trees. That's what this is. But compared to our other apple tree, which has all these beautiful blossoms on it, this one I guess was practicing celibacy this year because I see no blossoms. And the bed obviously has some clover and yarrow and other good stuff in there. So we'll see what happens with that one. This is a little magnolia tree that we have. I think it's really cute, especially compared to this giant magnolia tree in our neighbor's yard. It quite literally lives in its shadow, but it's okay. We love it, even though it's small. One day, maybe it'll be, one day, if I can plant it in the ground, it'll be nice and big. This is this angle of it. Woo! And the girl. Here's this apple tree. Look at these really pretty blossoms. I hope that means we'll get a few apples. Enough to eat them and do something with. That one's good. This one was like this tall when we bought it. So it's grown like a foot. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Proud parent. Okay, so that's the flower bed. And then we have our main little garden bed, although it is admittedly pretty hard to find under all of this stuff. This is where we tend to plant all of our vegetables in this little area. In the winter it gets very overgrown, obviously, so it is due for some grooming. Back here along the fence we have a little container. This is a little rose cutting that we took from our front yard, and Kyle put it in here, and it looks like it's growing. So yeah, exploring with propagating is always fun. I always recommend it. And this is some pretty yarrow that's growing in here. It's so soft. It'll bloom with some nice, really pretty yellow flowers at some point, so something to look forward to. These containers last year we used for growing our potatoes, so they're just filled with compost. I don't know, maybe we'll try and reuse it, but potatoes are another fun thing we like to grow because we often neglect the ones in our kitchen, and then when they start to spud, we just put them in the dirt and grow more. So that's urban gardening, a la Kyle and Sarah. These are our blueberry plants. We have a couple different kinds. I really wanted to take these out of the bed actually this year and put them in a pot. I haven't gotten around to it yet, so we'll see, maybe next year. These purple things, I think, are called dead nettle. Plant garden friends in the comments, please feel free to help me identify these. I want to say they're medicinal. I feel like everything is medicinal in some sense, but I need to look it up. These are some leeks that have literally been here for like 3 years. So, yeah. They just, I think, need to go at this point. I don't think they're edible. This is our neighbor's side of the yard. He's got a nice big garden bed too, with some beautiful rosemary. I come and cut sometimes because our rosemary in the front yard doesn't do that well. So pretty. Some mint in there too. This is our onion container. These were green onions that have gone crazy, and some chives. As you can see, they are all getting ready to flower. So honestly, I think it's time to just like cut them back. But this is also where we bury our onions that we don't eat that start to sprout. We just come bury them in the dirt and they grow new onions. So gardening fun. Okay. Woo. This is a bench Kyle and I made last summer. I think it was during COVID, so it might have been the year before that, out of pallets. Very nice. We meant to stain it or paint it, and we never got around to it. Our little squirrel friend. Shout out to all the squirrels out there. And now, coming back around this way, this is a eucalyptus. We have a couple that we've planted in these big pots for now. Maybe one day I'll be able to plant it in the ground and keep it kind of as like a shrub. But coming from California, eucalyptus is very special for me. It's everywhere where I grew up, and it's not very common here in Portland. Obviously, it's an invasive tree even in California, but I love it. Maybe that's why I'll keep it in a pot so it doesn't spread. I'm trying out some really cool things. Down here, this is a type of propagating where you take one of the lowest branches on the tree and you kind of put it in the soil and then put like a heavy rock on top of it. Let me see if I can show you with one hand. Okay. Ooh, little buggy. You use the rock to kind of pin the branch into the dirt, and you cover it a little bit, and over time it will grow roots, and then you'll be able to dig it up and propagate it as a whole nother little tree. I can't quite remember the name of that method. It might be called layering, but permaculture friends, feel free to help out in the comments. We've got some beautiful lavender. In the summer, I like to just come sit here and smell the lavender and the eucalyptus. Actually, since it's spring and when it starts to get nice out, I like to come do if I have like afternoon classes, I'll come and do them out here because it's just so nice. But I haven't had that chance this year, so hopefully soon. But we love the lavender, of course. These are some little plants I need to get in a pot of some kind. This is some really beautiful white sagebrush, or I think western mugwort is another name for it. It's not like the white sage that you would buy in bundles necessarily, but it still has a very beautiful smell. It's very soft and I love it, so I need to plant that at some point. And this is normally our little like hangout area. In the yard we got a little chimenea that I love. Shout out to Little Baja, I think is the name of the place, over on Burnside. I'm sure you all have seen it when you drive past. When we moved here, these hanging pots or planters were already here. You can ignore that, that's dead. But maybe it'll grow back, I don't know. And yeah, so last year we planted some flowers in here. Look at that, oh my gosh, look at the cute little pink. I don't even know what this is. Oh, it looks like a tiny little pea or an orchid or something. I have no idea what that is. I couldn't remember if, and neither could Kyle, if the stuff we planted in here was perennial or annual. So, I mean, like gardens every year, it's kind of just a crapshoot to see what happens, what comes back and what doesn't. Our beautiful little owls. Obviously we have owls everywhere. Go grandma. Some more yarrow. Sometimes they like to plant like radishes or carrots in here. Maybe I'll do that again this year. I also noticed today that if you look over here, look at all these, I don't know what they are, but these tiny little purpley blue flowers. So cute. So we'll see. Hopefully those come back. Nice. And my other eucalyptus tree. This one, it's got kind of a weird shape. If I had, in hindsight, I probably could have shaped it better when it was younger into like more of a bush, but you know, c'est la vie. Lots of mint down here. The mint went crazy. We had a dahlia, well, we have a dahlia planted in here. The mint obviously decided, as it does, that that's a great place for it to live. The squirrels also spend a lot of time in here. I see squirrel action all day in here. So who knows what's buried and what's been taken. But mint is nice in the summer. We love mint. And then this back corner is just kind of a storage corner, excuse me, of things, gardeny things, lots of extra little containers that are always helpful to have. Definitely on the to-do list of things here soon is to clean some of those out and maybe plant some new seeds or bulbs in there. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Look how cute that is. We got this nice rocking chair that was abandoned down the street. And it was there for like 2 weeks before I said, let's adopt it and bring it home. So we took it in and we sanded it, and it's still an outdoor chair. It's never going to be ready for the inside, but it's nice to sit in during the summer. And our little table area. And yeah, I think that's it for this month here in leading into the end of April. It's always nice to just kind of come out and take a look around and see what things are going on in the garden. And come this time next month, it'll be nice to see what's different, and hopefully it'll be a lot more cleaned up, because that was on our to-do list. I told Kyle after I shot this, then we could clean. So I hope all of y'all have a beautiful Saturday. Is it a little spider friend? Look at it. Oh, I can't zoom into it. You see that little dot. Anyway, hope you all have a beautiful Saturday. Enjoy the sun and enjoy getting out in the garden.